Welcome back, Motorheads. This is What the F Car Finds on Facebook Marketplace. First got a 1945 Duck for $35,000. This Forrest Gump, when me and Lieutenant Dan retired from shrimping, I become a land yacht captain. And this is my jitney. Actually, these old duck boats are cool. If you ever find yourself in Boston, take the duck boat tour. Next got a 1974 Ford wagon for $2,500. Oh dear God, my natural light drinker friends have been at it again, this time to use the wagon. I can guarantee this car smells like cheap alcohol and bad decisions, and I just know you're going to find a jar of pickled eggs in here somewhere. Up next, got a 1997 Mazda Rat Rod for $4,000. Now look, I like a rat rod as much as the next guy, and I appreciate people thinking outside the box when they build stuff. But this thing here, this is not thinking outside the box. This is, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to lop the front end off my truck, lop the bed off of it. I'm going to put and bolt on some crap and try to make it worth more money than what it is. But really what you're telling everybody else is you should not be left alone with a tool and never attempt to build another rat rod. Next got a 1969 Roadrunner for $22,500. Well, I gotta say, this is a first for me. I've never seen a Roadrunner lifted on a four-wheel drive frame. Actually, the body of the car looks pretty good. The car overall looks pretty good. Not digging a four-wheel drive frame underneath it, but you know, to each their own. This is what happens when the natural light drinking crowd quits drinking that cheap skunk beer and graduates to Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale. They get a little highfalutin. Up next, we got 1929 What the F for $25,000. Well, this definitely belongs on What the F. That is 100% certainty here. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I would like to have seen this thing finished. I would like to know what happened. Did you run out of money or just run out of patience with it or interest or what? But I would like to see this thing finished, but not for $25,000, I don't. Up next, got a 1990 VW Sandrail for $4,500. Well, this is what happened to Cletus, the farmer from Indiana. He moved to Arizona to retire. He decided he missed farming so much, missed his tractor because they had a little bit of a weird, strange relationship. Nobody's judging. This is a judge-free zone. He decided to build his own little tractor when he was out in Arizona, but he needed to be able to go back and forth and play in the sand. Now we have a rail buggy. Up next, we got a movie car Ectomobile for $29,900. What we got here is another case of Ecto No. No, you should have never tried to replicate the Ghostbusters Ecto 1 because you missed it by that much. Well, actually missed it by a lot. Next, got a 1972 Jeep for $3,750. What in the special ed version of Daisy's Jeep do we got going on here? You know, when you smoke meth, things like this kind of sound like a good idea when you're thinking it through. And you have no voice of reason to tell you not to do it. This here is a prime example of why you do not do drugs and wrench. No, stay off the drugs if you're going to wrench, because this was not a good idea. Next, we got a 1965 International for $4,000. What in the hillbilly cousin Roscoe do we got going on here? This here's a prime example of why we need rednecks. Especially in the zombie apocalypse. If it ever happens, you need to have good redneck friends, because they can build crap like this right here that just run over everything. But what really does it for me is the high back bar stool seats here for the captain's chairs. That is classic. You gotta be a redneck to pick at some things like that. Up next, got 2002 GMC Savannah for $8,500. Oh dear Lord, what in the crazy helmet wearing, window licking Karen do we got going on here? All of your decision making privileges have been revoked. You should not be allowed to make any decisions on any kind of work or authorize any kind of work whatsoever if this is the kind of crap you're going to authorize. Tell me you want to keep a van that you're trying to sell without telling me you want to keep a van. And the fact that you got Barbie hanging out there on the antenna, that's just sick. I think I need some Pepto-Bismol because I think I'm going to be sick after looking at this van. Ugh. Next, got a 1975 Ford Thunderbird for $5,500. Well, what we got here is the first ever episode of Papa Smurf's Pimp My Ride. Oh dear God, every one of the helmet wearing window lickers is on the loose and they are building cars. God help us all. This is the crap that happens when they give away participation trophies. And everybody's always, oh, don't criticize their work. They'll never do something again. Well, some people should have it criticized so they never do shit again. Because this here never needs to happen again. Stop giving away participation trophies and telling people things are good looking when they're not. Up next, got a 1960 Ford for $4,000. Well, what we have here is the Appalachian version of the Breaking Bad motorhome. And since it's your rolling laboratory in the Appalachian part of the world, this here's got four-wheel drive, guaranteed to take you up through the mountains without getting stuck. Up next, 1997 Ford Econoline for $3,500. When you're 2.5 cases into your Natty Light and you got a van and you realize you really need a truck, can't afford a truck, but you do remember you got a brand new Sawzall blade and a welder, and by God, you're going to have you a pickup truck at the end of the day, you end up with this one right here. But you don't want to look too much like a redneck, so you go ahead and drill holes through the running boards and run you a custom exhaust through it, so you get that little hot rod vibe instead of crazy redneck mobile. Up next, got a 1948 Oldsmobile for $11,200. Well, this is not redneck's work. This is not hillbilly's work. This here is absolutely just wrong. The village idiots all got together and decided they're going to build a car. Why would you do that to this poor Oldsmobile? Only thing you've accomplished here is made the ugliest damn thing I've ever seen. And if you're going to do that, at least make sure the finish is right. So you quit destroying the fender that's probably 6 inches of fiberglass every time you open the door. Don't ever do this shit again. And if you... No. Just put down your tools, smack your own damn hands. Next, got a 1951 Lincoln for $13,500. Well, to be honest, I don't really know how I feel about this car. It's not done bad. I'm not saying that. You know, the village idiots didn't get together and work on this one here. I'm just not so sure I dig the headlights there. It kind of makes the front end look a little cattywampus, and I don't really care for the taillights. Overall, the bodywork looks to be done, and everything looks like it was done nicely the way they put it together, from the pictures anyhow. I don't know, what do you guys think of this car? Leave it in the comments. Well, that's all I got for you today. If you liked today's video, smash that like button, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.